Good evening, Greg here. Burn at both ends, burning on the back end of Tuesday. It is the 25th of June, 2019, 11:41 p.m. Pacific. Just came back from my men's team meeting, and tonight's post is dedicated to Ed. My man Ed, he's part of my men's team, and he just had a shoulder operation, so he's in recovery. He'll be there for several months. And so something that he told me recently was that he really likes these posts, especially a Tuesday night post after a men's team meeting, because typically I talk about some of the content and some of the lessons. And he told me that he really liked that. And so as a gift to Ed, because I can't support him the way I'd like to be able to. As you know, Ed's an older man, so he definitely needs help with his shoulder and his recovery. And you can imagine bringing meals and running errands. I just with the 9 to 5, with the side hustle, with the 2 kids and the wife, and he's in Oakland and I'm up here in Albany, so it's just not so easy for me to get away to help him as often as I want. So I want to create this post. Ed, this is for you, buddy. I love you, Ed. Hope your shoulder's feeling well or better. Hope the meds are working. So we're gonna roll with some lessons to bring from the men's team meeting. And just for full disclosure, tonight we're rocking a little gin and tonic. And just to let you know, my favorite gin and tonic is the St. George's Botanivore gin with the Fentimans tonic. Fantastic. The Fentimans tonic it's expensive, but it's just so good. This one happens to be Beefeater at Fentimans. I got some Fentimans for Father's Day. But I will say the Cinderella gin that I'm going with right now is the Costco gin. It is phenomenal. It's like $18 for like a 1.75 liter. And I'd say it's better than Beefeater. Really cheap, really good. I'm not sure who actually makes it, but it's phenomenal. So anyway, on to the content from the men's team meeting. So tonight we talked about something that we call the 3 dimensions of a man. And these are represented by well-known figures that we all know. And so the 3 dimensions are Clint, as in Clint Eastwood, Curly, as in Larry Moe and Curly, and Gandhi, as in the famous Gandhi. And what each dimension means, and the whole point is that, a good man can embody any of the 3 dimensions and does on a regular basis throughout his life. And so Clint Eastwood, so this is the embodiment of we're getting into action, we're executing, we're probably pretty serious. We are in the zone. This is not a time for messing around. This is a time to get stuff done. It's a very high energy place to be. It takes a lot of will and a lot of just a lot of energy just to keep it up, right? Because it's very high intensity, and so it can't last for too long. It's almost like the warrior, right? You can't be the warrior for too long, or else you're gonna burn out. And the cool thing about me and when I embody Clint, and the best thing to see is when the whole team can do it, and then everyone is just in action together and like pushing at the same time and getting stuff done. So Clint. That is what Clint is. And so you can imagine for you, it can be anything that embodies that type of feeling, that you're just like in the zone, you're executing, you're in action. It's not a time to goof around. It's not a time to laugh. It's a time kind of be serious, but like serious because I want to be serious. I want to get work done. I want to bang something out. So for you, whatever your version of Clint Eastwood might be, could work. And this is also not solely for a man. This could be also for a woman. This is a men's team, and so we talk about, and this is geared toward men. So the second one, Gandhi, tonight, the man that led the ceremony, replaced Gandhi with Mandela. That's what he liked better. But think of someone that's of service to the community, of service to humanity, doing things for others. Putting yourself second or even last, maybe, things like that. So that's the Gandhi dimension, is being of service, and it could be to anyone. It could be to your children, to your parents, to your wife, to your husband, to the community, to the world in general, right? The the whole point is that what you're doing is not for you. It's for something outside of you, or outside of me, I should say. I'll do it in first person. It's not something for me. It's something outside of me. And at the same time, and I'm going to pull a little bit of Gary Vee in here, there should be no expectation of anything in return. No expectation. This is just 51, right? No 51.49. So, so Gandhi, Mandela, and then the third is Curly. And this is the humor, laughing, fun, goofing off. And I think one of the big things that came up tonight around Curly is being able to laugh at myself when I'm the butt of the joke. That is critical. Now, sometimes the timing's not great for that, right? And as a matter of fact, I just had an exercise where I had to talk about when is a time that I'm not in the mood to laugh. And for me, it was when I'm in a hurry. And typically, when I'm in a hurry, it means I haven't planned. And so that's probably more what it is I'm angry at myself for not planning, and therefore I don't feel the need to laugh. But at the same time, I feel that that's a time, especially when I should be laughing at myself. And I'll use a specific example. So I live in Albany, California. We're right near Berkeley. Berkeley is a very laid back, very activist-like on one end, but then very laid back on the other. And I have this thing about driving in Berkeley, is that I never want to be in a hurry driving in Berkeley. No, just for so many reasons, right? The pedestrians that just walk out in front of your car and cross the street and you almost hit, to there are so many reasons why if I'm in a hurry and I have to drive through Berkeley, I'm in a bad spot. I'm just deep breaths, lots of deep breaths. So anyway, so Curly, I kind of got a little side note there. So Curly, laughing, fun, being able to laugh at yourself. And one of one of the results, or not results, but one of the things that came up during the discussion about the three dimensions that one man said is that each of the three dimensions is like a different form of confidence. And that really, I thought that was really kind of a cool way to to summarize it, because it's, obviously you see the confidence in a Clint Eastwood type of character, right? I mean, that's pretty straightforward. A Mandela, a Gandhi type of a character, the confidence, it's still there, but it's just a little bit, there's a patience in between the confidence hitting you, and it doesn't hit you in the same way. I mean, with Clint, it's like that first word, what's going on. With a Gandhi kind of a thing, it's almost like a confidence grenade, for an odd image there. I thought of a joke grenade for the other thing, but I'm sure you've heard of a joke grenade, right? You tell a joke and people laugh like at the wrong time or much later. A lot of hand motions tonight. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but anyway, so it's like a confidence grenade. It's like you're not really sure at first, but then over a period of time, the confidence is understood. And even Curly, there's a lot of confidence in being able to laugh at yourself. There's a lot of confidence with being in that space of being the funny guy and being the butt of the joke and being okay with that and continuing to show up in that role. There's a lot of confidence there. And the other thing that this man said, because the same man that mentioned this, each of these three dimensions has an element of confidence in it. He also said that I can deliver a message embodying any of the three dimensions, right? And he used the sentence, "I want to go on vacation," and so it was like Clint would be like, "I want to go on vacation, and it's going to be the second week of July, and it's going to be to this place, and we're going to do these things, and blah blah blah." And there's a schedule and a plan, and blah blah blah. And then there's the Gandhi version, which would be like, at some point in time, I would like to take a vacation. And, you're very patient, very laid back about it. It'll happen. I don't need to make it happen right now. I know it'll happen. Or maybe even a better way to say it would be a vacation will come to me at some point in time. And then there's the Curly part where it's like, "Hey, I want to go on vacation." like, or I don't know what that was, but something like that, right? Something kind of goofy, a goofy way to say, I want to go on vacation. And so think about how even a simple sentence like that and how that can be received through the different dimensions, differently. And what he was saying is that knowing your subject, knowing who you're communicating with, or who I'm communicating with, I want to do this first person, who I'm communicating with, it's important, and how I deliver this message. And I thought that was a really cool way to think about it, is that, and kind of his challenge to us was, go about thinking about this. Next time you're going to communicate with someone, think about which one you're going to embody and why you're doing that, and maybe try a different one. Or if you had success with that, then stay with it. But the whole purpose of the discussion of the three dimensions is that our motto is, I want to be the man I always wanted to be. And that's something for me. It's different for you. It's different for him. It's different for that other man over there. It's what I think. And I'm going to pull some Gary Vee in again here, because he's my man here, even though he doesn't quite know that yet. His thing is like happiness, right? That's another thing. It's like happiness. It's like me being happy, it's my version of happiness. You being happy, it's your version of happiness, right? And it's really dangerous for me to project my version onto you and vice versa, and other kind of, right? It's, some, like, for example, I love my engineering work. I love the Fundraise Up work. I love the drums. Actually, can you see it this way maybe? See, my drums are packed up there. Jam the other night, love that. Anyway, love the music, love the Fundraise Up, love the engineering work. I would love to keep doing all three. I would like to kind of switch the priorities of them. I'd like to create more time for the music, and that's kind of the whole point of the Fundraise Up thing. And I forget why I'm even talking about this right now, but I completely lost my train of thought. But oh yeah, Gary Vee, happiness. Here we go. Thank you. So my version of happiness is, I can still do all three, but I can do them on a more equal basis. That would be awesome for me. Still living here in Albany. I don't really need a bigger house, but I love this house. Kids are in great schools. We're all healthy. We eat great. It'd be nice to go out to dinner more, but it's a rough life, right? But yeah, that's my version of happiness. Would be to do all three of those three things. All three of them. It's been a while since I posted. To do all three of those things on a more equal time basis, and still have time for the family and the kids, and that's happiness to me. And happiness to someone else might be, who knows what it could be. It could be, I love being a garbage man, or I love being a lawyer, or I need to make 7 figures, or else I'm not happy. We all have something different, and that's kind of the Gary Vee piece, and that's also the piece with this kind of be the man I always wanted to be. And so back to the three dimensions is, as I am being this man I always wanted to be, I want to make sure that I give time to each of these dimensions, because they're very important. Right? It's very important that as a man, I embody Clint, and I execute, and I just tear something up. I just really just crush something. It's really important to embody Gandhi, and to be of service, and to give back, and to help the community, and help people that are less fortunate, things like that. Very important, so important. And this is actually why, for me, my big change from early 2018 to now has been really focusing on the service part, even though kind of ironically, it's through a sales activity, which does benefit me. But what I'm seeing, the real game that I'm playing with Fundraise Up, is it's a ridiculously patient game. And the way I'm going to win this game is by going the extra mile and over servicing my customers, and even the people that say no. As a matter of fact, I just got an email back from someone today. After many calls and emails, he finally got back to me, and it was a very interesting email, because he just didn't even greet me. It just started the email. this is a problem we've been trying to solve, and he just laid out the problem, and he even said, if you guys can't do this, we're not interested. It was a very kind of a, I don't know, it was a very Clint email. It's interesting. And so I'm learning right now if our product can do what he's asking, but my goal is, no matter what we can do, let's just assume that my product can't do what he's asking, because I think it's a pretty specific thing. It would be to find products that could solve this problem for him, and that's the solution I'm going to give him. It would be great if we can do it, because then I can own it, and then we can be right up in there, and I can solve it directly for him. If we can't solve it, if we can't do what he's asking, I would love to bring him, hey, we can't do it, but here, these 3 options are, and I dug a little bit deeper on each 3, and it seems that options 2 and 3 are really the best. 3 I would choose if I were you, and this is why. And this is what I want to deliver to him. Not just a, yes, we can do it, or no, we can't. Or really, it's probably a no, because I think it's pretty specific, and I don't think that our product does it. But anyway, that's beside the point. What I was getting at is this Fundraise Up has really pushed me. It's really, pushed me on the patient side of things, which is where I need help. And that's something that I would say, for me, a Gandhi embodies patience. Listening, which is also, I think, a very important piece to being of service, because how can I help you if I'm not listening? And then, of course, just going the extra mile and just going above and beyond, and just over delivering on whatever the request is. So that's been the big shift in me in the last year and a half, is really focusing on the service. I've also been I've been giving this talk at San Francisco State University to an entrepreneurship class. And one of the things I always say is, hey, I'd love to help you guys out. You're at a really interesting point in your lives. This is, obviously college students. And so they're about to make a huge transition into like the real world. I'd love to help them do that. And actually a couple of them finally have taken me up on setting up a call so we could talk through some stuff. Because it's really important. Like, there was one person who was looking to get a job that was $15 an hour when she graduated, but she wanted to live in San Francisco. It's like, if you're going to have a job that pays $15 an hour and you're going to work 40 hours a week, you need to have some very creative living conditions or some wealth behind you, right? If that's all your money, the $15 an hour, you need to have a very creative living condition to live in San Francisco and not, and be able to do anything besides eat, sleep, and work. Anyway, just things like that. Just like, hey, think this through. This might, maybe you keep the job, but you move to a different city because the $15 an hour goes a lot further in this other city than it does in San Francisco. Things like that. So, anyway, the key thing, being the man I always wanted to be, is being able to embody the 3 dimensions and to understand when. I think the timing is critical. So. I think this is a really good discussion. I think, a lot more men, or I'll say it this way. I've seen the benefit of a lot of men looking at the 3 dimensions. I'm pointing on my paper here. Looking at the 3 dimensions, analyzing it, seeing where they show up strong, seeing where they show up weak, and then working to balance it a bit more. I mean, now you're not going to always be able to have a third kind of thing going on, but, If I'm really hurting on curly, I'm not a funny person, maybe I go out and read some jokes about some things I like, and I just try them out with some people just to make them laugh. If I'm really hurting on the service side, maybe I just go to a local soup kitchen and volunteer on a random Saturday or something. If I'm not doing enough Clint, maybe I volunteer for some leadership role where now I'm in charge, and I really have to bring that fire that a leader needs to bring sometimes to get some stuff done. Things like that. So, it's great because it forces me to look at my life and look at areas and look at maybe some comfort zones and get out of some comfort zones. I think comfort zones is a big piece of this. So yeah. So that's the 3 dimensions of a man. It could be of a person, doesn't have to be a man, but like I said, this is the men's team, so we talk like we're men. And so, Ed, I hope this brings back some juice for you. I hope that you enjoy this. And hope your shoulder's feeling better. Let me know if I can do anything for you. You know how to reach me. And that's about it. So I think we'll wrap there with the good old gin and tonic. And yeah, so go out, light it up, crush it, do great things, be kind, inspire folks. And I'll catch you later. The next cooking video is going to be bulgogi. So love some good bulgogi. All right, peace, y'all.